Way.
Best deck.
Truly.
We won. We did it. Hours of rigorous testing to figure out that Shoto Mother good.
Shoto Mother good.
Alright, let's do the cards. I'll talk about every card that can search Shoto, because guess what? You don't have to search Mother. It's your egg.
Yep.
Yay. People don't play this. Why? The deck is playing hybrids and tamers.
Tamers you need to find.
And this gives you 2 memory back when you evolve. On a game against Blake today, I gained 8 memory.
What 3 do they normally play?
They've played things like the Shumon that searches a Liberator Tamer, which is yellow. They play like the Agumon from BT1 that searches top 5 for a Tamer. There's literally a search 5 right here that is better. Yep. But anyway, play Bokomon, please. I even saw someone saying recommending playing Genai instead of Bokomon. Genai can actually add Bokomon. I'm playing 1 Genai. It was a great call, but not cutting Bokomon for it. Play the Genai, it can add the Bokomon and the Shoto. So anyway, that card can add Shoto, so we play it. Sephirothmon is one of the black hybrids we play because it says, it evolves for 3 unfortunately, except if it's on Mercurymon. Sephiroth says your opponent has to attack with a Digimon. You pick something, they have to attack with it. It has to be on the field though. At the time of your Digivolve. Then we have Mercury. They're kind of a combo together. He gives something blocker. He's also a 2 to evolve, so cheap. So yeah, if you evolve Sephiroth on Mercury, it costs 1. So altogether, it's like a 3 cost kind of combo. And then if you Digivolve this into a Mamimon or any of your level 5s, suddenly you can Blast Ace. So it's pretty good. Until we get the level 5s Ace Black card, which is Cyberdramon. Last 2, we're just playing 2 Grumblemon because Grumblemon, best guy. And he's a vanilla hybrid because you just kind of needed 10 hybrid slots, so just fills the gap, but he's pretty much a vanilla. That Mercurymon can give blocker to mums or to just random stuff on your board. And this is another card that kind of does a lot for the deck that people don't max out on. Mamimon, on play or when Digivolving, 7 play cost. Play a Tamer. Look at top 5, play a Tamer. Put them back on top or bottom. And that's good for a number of reasons. One, the Digimon we play lets you play from the top as well, so this can stack for you. You get to pick the order and all that fun stuff. Also inheritable if you play Digimon out by an effect, give something blocker, which the Digimon will once again trigger when we get to the 6s. But overly, it's another card that gets Shoto. Some games you will just hard play this turn 2 because you don't have a better play. Yeah, it's 7 cost, but it's pressuring a blast play, and it gives you Shoto potentially, or any of your other. I think I'm playing like 16 Tamers, so you get one of them. It's good. Also, Mamimon's a king. 2 Rapidmon, because this card is very good. It Digivolves for 4 in this deck. Mami's a 3. Every other level 5 is going to be a 4. This has Digivolve 1, and then Protection if you have a green Tamer. Shoto's a green Tamer. Pretty much every time I play this today, I had the Protection. Inheritables also crack, trash of security. I also just like Terriermon, so yeehaw. This is good for your Blast Ace targets too, because we play some yellow, green, black. So pretty much any Blast Ace can go over it. We get to the Techier 5s. Nightmon. This is a blocker itself, but on play when Digivolving, it's kind of like a mini version of the Cherubimon Ace. One of your opponent's Digimon gets neg 3k for all of your Digimon. So if it was just him, it's still neg 3. So if you just play this with nothing else, neg 3, but you're always going to have mums out. So he typically goes to like, neg 9k or higher. Normally can delete a Mega very easily. He's also just a blocker, which is good because the deck does that a lot, and it's just nice to have another one. The Inheritable will never come up, but that doesn't really matter. You can play all of these for free, by the way. They're all 7 cost. The lower off GGmon's effect a bit later. And then we have the Betsumon, which looks like a vanilla in theory, but it has the unique word save on here, which means Quartzmon can go on this for 9 and skip going to a level 6. So that's really cool. It also has Inheritable plus 1,000, which is less relevant, but that's cool too.
I have not seen that. That's
the 5s. I don't have Edamons. They're in the mail, but when I get them, they'll be in here too. I'm not sure what I'll cut yet, but we'll deal with that when I get them. 3 Mega Gargo Ace, because forcing your opponent to attack and then just saying you can't restand, you can't evolve, and I'm blocking is pretty funny. Also, yeah, comboed with Mother, you have multiple blockers. This can attack twice as well, because at end of attack, it will restand. So, great aggressive ace, but also defensive, just the best ace. Another bunny ace, we have the Cherubimon. Now, in this deck, you never use the on-play to play something. You just do the second part, which is neg DP for bodies on the field. You'll normally just have like 1 or 2 or more mothers on the field. So you can just hard play this, give a bunch of guys, that's neg 12 off the bat.
Yep.
So the more bodies you have, the more mums you have, you go up to neg 16 or higher. It's kind of ridiculous. And yeah, it's kind of funny when you get max value on this card, it just doesn't matter. But yeah, you'll probably notice all these cards are level 7 play cost, and here's our last one. This is the Vikemon. It's probably the weakest of the aces, which is why we're just playing the 1, but D-Digivolve is really good against certain decks like Imperial, so that's kind of why he's in here. He can't block or anything though, so he's kind of more of a stun card, whereas the others are kind of, delete stuff or block stuff and suspend stuff. But yeah, he's in here because he's probably one of the better ones to hard play as well. But yeah, you'll notice we got one more Mega, and it's Digimon. It is a 3 to evolve. You hopefully put it on your Mamimon, but it can go on any of your 6s because it's black and green Digivolution. When Digivolving, top 3 player tamer. A lot of the time, if you've done Mamimon and you see another tamer, you can stack it there for GG to play, or you can bottom deck the Mamimon cards if there was no more tamers and just hope you hit a tamer. Once again, we're playing so many tamers, so another way to Shoto is great. This card's when attacking is insane. Tonight, people weren't outing this card, so it just got value every turn. I would turn it sideways. It would reveal the top 5 cards because I had so many tamers, and it can play out any of these cards. It can play out this on play, gives blocker as well. This doesn't do anything on play, but there's something else that does something on play. The level 5s. Playing this out, meaning you can threaten Quartz. Playing this out, meaning you can neg something by a bunch of DP. Playing this out, D-Digivolve protection. Playing this out, searching another tamer. Yeah.
And people leave the GG alone because they're too focused on the mummy. They're too focused on all of your other stuff that you're doing. Yeah, exactly right.
So they typically
you're just playing a bunch for free.
Then we get on to the 7s because you got to play them. Quartz. This is one of the win cons because you kind of just sit there behind Mom and don't do anything against, especially hybrid decks or scary decks like Imperial, where you're gonna hit security and their tamer's gonna come out and you're gonna lose. You just don't hit their
just
security.
Trash it all.
Yeah, so you build up your board with all the tamers that you play and all the mothers, all the Digimon and tamers they're playing. Then by the time you go into this, you suspend everything on the field, you swing and it trashes the rest of their security. I trashed 4-5 security tonight. So you just wait, because you can. You're playing Shoto Mother, you can wait.
The idea is that you don't have to.
Yeah, and obviously this card's really good at just pushing lethal in other situations too. Just a very good level 7. We also had Paladin Mode Ace. It came up one time tonight where I was just swinging and swinging and swinging because the when attacking is not once per turn. If you keep bottom decking Digimon with no material. Typically this has a really great use in this deck that I didn't figure out till later. There are certain decks that have Raid and Iceclad that can actually delete your mothers. You can lose mothers, right? And then if you only have the 4. Paladin mode lets you recycle your bin, including eggs. So you can actually just put the mothers back. Obviously in other matchups you can recycle their bin if it's purple or red and they can use their bin really effectively. You can just say no. But otherwise you can just use this on your own bin and say, hey, I got my eggs back. Cool. Or, you never really deck out with this deck, so you probably don't need to use it on yourself. But I mainly just use this because you can strip all sources, and that can be really good as well. And yeah, it can be played off Digimon.
True.
It's a 9 play cost.
It's a 9 play cost.
So Digimon can play this out, and that's a little bit
That's pretty funny.
because it does trigger on play for free.
Yeah.
So that's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, last one, Death X, because
wide.
Yep. People go wide to try to kill you and get through all the blocks. They're setting up I got to attack 5 times in one turn. You're like, okay, no, you don't.
No, you die. No. Goodbye.
Stop. So Quartz is good at punishing that too, but Death X, obviously, you don't need any setup. Quartz does need either level 5 Betsumon or a level 6. It's a little more hard to get to. I'm not really playing removal options because I disagree with all those lists. This deck is so, bricky because you don't draw. You don't have an egg. Anyone who's played this deck knows you just don't get draws. So we're not playing the removal options. I just think you can build your board and be fine, and that's how I build the deck. Plus, if they're swinging early and they hit tamers, that's almost better than them hitting removal. You're like, cool, I'd rather have, my memory setter tie. Anyway, this is great. If you have a tamer in play, you don't need white, and that's pretty much always going to be fine. Reveal top 5, Digivolve into something you see. So you can, if you go into Quartzmon off this, it's for 3 instead of 6.
Sick.
And then you're suspending the board and stuff. So I have done that a couple of times, and you can still do the cheat way off the Betsumon and stuff as well. But this is also good for going into stuff like Death X, even Paladin Mode Ace. But the best thing about this card, I suppose, is your hand size is always small in this deck. This lets you extend 5 cards deeper to try find an evolution. And then if it whiffs, you just add 1 instead.
This also combos with the 5 that lets you stack the top of the deck, right?
Exactly.
You can go, okay, I don't want this here. I want this here. Right. Go into a big thing.
So Mamimon, hard slamming Mamimon or Digivolving into Mamimon, and then you just leave the stuff on top and you just rip this, go into whatever you like, one of your aces. Typically the aces cost 4 to evolve into, so this makes them 3. A lot of the level 5s we play also cost 4 because they're not in their right deck. So this also makes them cost 3. So there's a lot of reason to play this card, and ultimately there's not much search in this deck. So it's kind of another search if it whiffs, which you hope it doesn't, but it's there. The star of the show, for Shoto, card's cracked, we got to play it. Balance. Nothing to say about it. Everything in the deck's trying to add it. And then we play for Satsuki as well, because she's your black hybrid, like tamer, basically, because there isn't one. Yeah, you just hybrid on her and then detach at the end of each turn. She doesn't give any inheritables because she's in the wrong deck, but she just gives you a free resource and memory every turn, just like this guy, who gives you memory every turn. So you typically start your turns at a fair bit of memory. I wouldn't go down on these tamers, but the rest of them are a bit kind of personal preference. I went with 3 of the memory setting tie. I was going to do 4, but I figured the matchups where I wanted it 4, I don't know, like, yeah, it'll be good for that, but it'll be bad for everything else. So I just went, I'd rather just play the 3 where it's kind of in the middle, because this gives 2k to mum, and that's the main thing. This makes your mum go to 17k, and if you have more than 1, you can go to 19k.
Gets it just out of range of things like the Blast Mode.
Yeah, absolutely. You still lose to like Ice Clad and some other things, and a lot of decks like Magan X can go very, very big. But it just means they can't do it on like turn 2 or 3. Yeah. They can't just swing with their blind Magna that's, you know, freshly digivolved, because they normally go to 15 or 16 if they have the right egg. 1 tie is enough for you to go to 17, which is just too high. So yeah, even just seeing one of this is great. You typically want to see 1, 1, 1, and 1 of this tie as well, because this tie just says, hey, are you blocking? Lol, restand.
More block.
More block. So with this setup, you kind of want to see a little bit of everything. Kind of one of each tamer gets you through. Obviously, Shoto, you're happy to see as many as you like. But typically, if you have like one of this tie, one of that tie, one of the hybrid tamer, and a couple of Shotos, yeah, you're winning that game. But yeah, the more the merrier, of course. So if you can slam down more of these, that's great too. And the last tamer we play is Jedi.
Yo, the old man.
I saw someone mention this instead of Boko, and it was very valid to some degree. They were wrong, though, and they said to play like 4 of this instead of 4 Boko, which I don't know why you do that. But I did read the card and go, yo, this adds a level 3, any level 3, and the only 3 we're playing is Boko, but still. But then it adds a non-white tamer, and that's everything I've just shown you, right? It can't add itself, so we're not playing more than 1. On opponent's turn, this is surprisingly relevant. You have a mum in the back, opponent attacks with a 5 or higher. Tap this, bring this up.
Oh, cute.
Helps you accelerate a little bit in the egg cycle, which isn't always relevant, but it's just nice, because this deck needs to get as many mums on the field as possible.
Unironically, you pump these out faster than you pump mums out at times.
Yeah, that is true.
You end up with 3 and 2 or 2 and 1, and you'd wish you just say, oh, give me the one extra, and then I can
because
start
sometimes you're putting your blocker from Shoto on like other Digimon because you don't have enough mums yet. So this is so good as a nice one-off tech, and I think people are sleeping on that along with Boko itself. So that's all I got to say, but play cards that search Shoto, guys.